The Nigerian Air Force says the death of Flying Officer Tolulope Arotile was caused by a blunt force trauma to the head and significant bleeding resulting from being struck by the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle has been identified as the former secondary school classmate of the deceased. TVC News correspondent Celestina Area reports.
On 14th July 2020, the Nigerian Air Force and the entire nation was thrown into mourning due to the death of the first female combat helicopter pilot, Flying Officer Tolulope Arotile.
Ran Defense Academy on the 22nd of September 2012 and was commissioned into the Nigerian Air Force on the 16th of September 2017.
For the purposes of the preliminary investigation,
Given a report of a preliminary investigation carried out, the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibukule Daramola, said the late flying officer met 3 of her former schoolmates at the Air Force Secondary School, Kaduna, on the day of the unfortunate incident. They are Nehemiah Adejo, Igbekele Folarisho, and Festus Boyogun, who drove past her in an SUV. They are all civilians who live outside NAF Base, Kaduna, but were on their way to visit one Choma Ugwe, wife of squadron leader Chukwemeka Ugwe, who lives at Ekwabo quarters on the base. Upon recognizing their classmate after passing her, Mr. Adejo, who was driving, reversed the vehicle sensibly in an attempt to quickly meet up with the deceased, who was walking in the opposite direction. In the process, the vehicle struck Flying Officer Arotile from the rear, knocking her down with sufficient force and causing her to hit her head on the pavement. The said vehicle then ran over parts of her body as it veered off the road beyond the curb and onto the pavement, causing further injuries. She was rushed to NAF Hospital in the base but was confirmed dead. The 3 ex-classmates were immediately detained and subjected to alcohol tests, but no such substance was found in their systems. It was discovered upon further interrogation that the driver of the vehicle, Nehemiah Adejo, did not have a valid driver's license.
Yes, this particular case is high profile. This particular case is also peculiar because of the circumstances surrounding it. But ideally, it should be an internal process. But we are communicating this initial investigation report. As to time frame, that depends on what the investigators do. Like I said, now the process will be handed over to the Nigerian police, and the Nigerian Air Force will continue to work with the Nigerian police to establish all the ingredients of what will be required to prefer the appropriate charges against who amongst these suspects will be considered culpable in any way.
Further investigations that led to the death of Tolulope Arotile will be carried out by the Nigerian police, and if there's a plausible cause, the suspect will be arraigned before a court of competent jurisdiction. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.